So from our perspective, it's really good that Dad isn't the stressful sort. So even though he knows that he had memory troubles, he wasn't stressed that he was forgetting something. He was more so just quite happy and oblivious to what may be on that day. So it was more so a challenge for us to constantly call to remind him that something was going to happen that day, if he had an appointment or if someone was coming and he needed to stay home. But then, of course, knowing that one phone call wouldn't do it, there'd be a phone call an hour before, or 5 phone calls an hour before, and then half an hour before, and then 10 minutes before, just to make sure that it stuck that someone was coming or he had to do something. So, but even still, that may not have worked out, because he might not hear his phone and pick up, or he may already have headed out without his phone. And so there were dramas like that. Another challenge that we had is that there were just common questions that were everyday questions throughout the day. Like a key one was often just, when's Kyle coming home? Or where is Kyle? My brother. And sometimes my brother works away for a few days or even a week. And so that question would come up a lot, whether it was to myself or to my grandmother or to Kyle himself. And just, we couldn't quite find a way of making it easy to give him an answer of exactly when he's going to be home. What I really wanted from Membo was the ability to access it remotely for when something just changes partway through the day, and be able to notify Dad of it. And also to have the ability to alert him when something's coming up, because of him being pretty chillaxed and, not being stressed that something was on that day. We needed that alert or that alarm to prompt him to realise that there was something coming up on the board. So those were the two most important things to me, knowing Dad's needs. But the 30-day trial offer made a big difference, just to be able to go in and know that we could try it out, see if it worked for us. And so that sort of got rid of any concerns. Knowing that we had those 30 days, we just tried to get right into it, see what all of its capabilities were. I think on the first day that we got it, we set it up, of course, at home for Dad. We put it on my phone, we put it on my brother's phone, we put it on my grandmother's phone. As much as she doesn't interact with it, it just also helped her to know what was happening in Dad's day-to-day, so that if he was talking to her, she knew to remind him of things too. So, once we got it all set up on all of our devices, we all had a bit of practice and realised that it was pretty simple to use and basic enough for Dad as well, just to have appointments and also an ability to do notes. And it was pretty much as simple as that, exactly what we needed. I really liked the feature of being able to add a picture with the appointment. I think that has been really helpful, because it's not just words of information, but it makes that connection of a visual picture. So say, for example, sometimes if we can't get a hold of Dad on his phone, if he's left it in another room or something, I'll go into Membo and I'll add an appointment for like 5 minutes time, and I'll add a picture of a mobile phone in a hand. I'll say, call Tamika back. And so that will alert, for him to go and look at the board, because it's loud enough, and then he'll see, go and call Tamika, so then he'll go and look for his phone and he'll call me back. Or specifically on a Sunday night, we've kind of left that night free for him to go and get some takeaway. And if no one's home and he needs to go and get it himself, I've got an appointment there that goes off at about 5, so early enough so that he's got time to think about it. And it'll say, go and get some takeaway for dinner. And if I attach a picture of like the Subway logo, you're pretty guaranteed he's going to go and get Subway, because that's the visual connection that's been made. It's good. One extra thing that we've really enjoyed, which was just thinking outside of the box, is if there's a day where there's not much happening for Dad, I might put a joke or something in the notes section, and he loves it because you'll see that joke throughout the day and have a laugh. And
Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris jokes. But it's also just a way of him knowing that I've put it there. And so then he knows that I've thought about him that day to put a joke up there. Hey,
It's just over there.
It's just a little way of making contact. Even if I've only put one thing in, it might be new to him multiple times a day, and he'll get enjoyment out of that.
That's the best part.
Yeah.
And you get to meet more friends.
That's right. Yeah. Even with the board, it's helped all four of us to keep up to date as well. Because sometimes it would be a matter of, I know something that's happening, and then I may tell my brother about it, but I don't feel like I have to burden my grandmother with it. But then she might get upset that she didn't know it was happening. And so we're all separated most of the time. And so to have this as like just the one hub where we all know what's going on with Dad, days in advance, weeks in advance, it's been really good just for all of us to be able to know what's going on. But the 30-day trial offer made a big difference, just to be able to go in and know that we could try it out, see if it worked for us. And so that sort of got rid of any concerns.
Yeah. So I'm aware of what's ahead of me. That's why I'm trying to keep happy. And, you know, if you can't change it, don't worry about it. Don't stress.
And I think it's the thing, isn't it, of making sure that you get whatever versions of support around you can assemble. And, you know, I think one of our challenges is everybody knows about those dongles that will ring if you fall over, and everyone knows about wheelie walkers, and everyone knows about a chair that'll push you out to, you know, get you up. But the business of something like what we have, it's not a natural step for people to go, this is what, they don't even know they need it. They don't know it exists. So, you know, our big challenge is getting the word out there. And it's all about that stuff, and particularly for young, you know, for anybody. But I look at, you know, Marcus, you've got, you know, many years ahead of you, and, you know, you want to be living as independently as you can. So it's get all that support around you, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.